Hey guys, so today is going to be a video that is pretty close to my heart. A lot of you have asked me a bunch of questions regarding fostering and how to get into it, what kind of things does it entail, a lot of things about Emily, and I thought I would just make a video kind of explaining everything, our situation, how we got into it, and everything like that, just because I've had so many questions about it. I mean, personal emails, tweets, Facebook messages, just so many things. I thought it would just be easier to have it all in one video and try and answer everyone's questions in general. So first off, those of you who do not know, which if you're new to this channel you may not know, we have a foster daughter. Her name is Emily, and I've showed her in a couple different clips on my Follow Me Around vlogs, just in general, you know, shopping and things like that. We have had her since July 2011, so about a year and a half. She just turned 3 in November 4th to be exact, and so we had her since she was about 1.5, somewhere around there. Now her situation, I can't really say too much in detail, and you know what, actually a lot of people have asked me why I never mentioned anything about her before. I actually couldn't mention anything. If you are a foster parent or you've ever dealt with a foster child before, there's a lot of rules and regulations, which is too much really to get into in just a beauty video or a vlog video in general, but we had certain parameters that we had to stay within that included not, you know, putting her on my Facebook, don't film her, don't expose her in any way, things like that. So things have changed since then that I have been able to, you know, include her in my videos, put her on my Facebook, send out pictures, things like that. But prior to, my husband and I weren't able to share any of her information. So even now we still have to keep some things private, you know, that's just the way it goes. So I can't explain her entire story, but the way that we actually ended up, you know, bringing her home with us is, it happened like this. We weren't actually foster parents to begin with. We were just a normal couple who had a house. We had a roommate, you know, never thought anything of it. I actually had never even considered being a foster parent because we don't have foster children of our own, or we don't have our own children yet. I didn't want to take in foster children before we started to have our own family. So we never even thought about it. Emily's mom is mentally ill, and she was having some issues, and CPS got called on her. So her mom is actually a friend of my family. Like, Emily's grandma, her biological grandma, was my mom's best friend. And she passed away from, she had colon cancer. She passed away almost 2 years ago now. And she, her daughter, Emily's mom, because she is mentally unstable, she was not able to care for Emily the way she was supposed to. So the reason she, you know, couldn't do that, you know, CPS got called on her. I'm trying to not say anything I'm not supposed to. CPS got called on her, and because I had already had a relationship with Emmy, because I grew up with her whole entire family, all Emmy's aunts and uncles, like I grew up with all of them. So because we already had a relationship with her, of course, you know, when the mom called crying saying that Emily was going to get taken away from her, I didn't want that to happen. So I told my mom, you know, that we have the room. I wouldn't mind bringing her home. So that's pretty much what happened. She ended up coming home with us. It was supposed to be temporary at first, and if you've ever been dealt with in a CPS case, which if you guys don't know what CPS is, I'm sure a majority of you do, but it's Child Protective Services. Anytime a child is in with parents who are abusive, who do drugs or alcohol, molestation, things like that, they can be removed from the home and placed with CPS, which is pretty much their award of the state. So anyway, she came home with us, and again, it was supposed to be temporary at first. You know, we weren't supposed to have her more than a few weeks. We were getting married in October, so of course, you know, I felt pressed for time. I was in nursing school. I'm still in nursing school, but I was just in my second semester, so I was just trying to get the hang of everything. I'd never been a mom before. Of course, I'd babysat a few times, but never been a mom. I had no clue what to do. So it was a learning process for all of us, and before we knew it, she just kept staying and kept staying and kept staying, and CPS finally told the mom that she would no longer have her rights. So we ended up keeping her. And here she is now. She has been with us, like I said, for about 1.5 years. I wouldn't change it for the world. We love that little girl like she is our own. Of course, we do want to have our own family, but we are happy to be able to give her a loving environment and a loving home and be her parents for her that she wasn't ever going to have. So, kind of tugs at my heart a little bit, but yeah, that's our story. That's how we ended up with Emily, and we love her to death. She's become part of our family. My whole family has embraced taking care of her. She calls my mom grandma. She doesn't call me mom, and she does not call Andres dad, but that's not because we don't let her. We didn't know we were going to get to keep her. So for a very long time, when she first came to our house, she was actually calling me mama, and I never deterred her from calling me that. So I don't even know where she got this name from. I really don't. I want to say she learned it in school, because she is in preschool during the day. But she calls me pretty. And I think it's so funny because she legitimately calls me pretty. I mean, if you go back and look at some of my vlog videos, that's what she calls me. And I don't know if it's because, you know, when we first got her, I would always tell her, "You're so pretty. You're such a pretty girl, mama." Like, I would always tell her those kinds of things. I don't know if that's where she got it from. I mean, I really don't know, because not once did I tell her, "Oh, you need to call me pretty because that's my name." Because that's not right at all. Because if you ask her, if I tell her what's Pretty's real name, she'll say Melissa. She knows. And if you ask her, "Who's your mommy?" she says Pretty is. So she knows that I'm her mommy, and she knows what my real name is, but she still calls me Pretty. Now get this, she calls Andres baby, and that's because that's what I call him. I never call him Andres. I never call him Andy or Andrew, like that's what they call him at work. I never call him anything but baby, or my honey bunny, or baby doll. That's all I ever call him. So I think she got that from me, because I never told her, "Oh, go to your daddy," or "Go see dad," or "Go see dada." I never told her any of that, because again, I didn't know that she was going to be staying with us forever. So I never led her down that path. So she calls him baby, and I just think it's the cutest thing. She tells him all the time, "I love you, baby." He thinks it's hilarious. But again, if you ask her, "Who's your daddy?" she knows that it's Andres, and she knows his real name too, and she knows our last name, of course. But if I tell her what's baby's real name, she says Andres. And if you say, "Well, who's your daddy? Where's your dad?" she'll say, "Baby, he's over there." You know, so she knows our roles, but she just, I don't know, she continues to call us that. So someday, if she wanted to call us mom and dad, we'd be perfectly fine with that, but it's at her own pace. We're never going to force her to do anything. So that is her story, just in general. I'm going to start putting more footage of her up on this channel, because I know you guys, you like seeing her. She is such a cute, funny, like just fun-loving little girl. I mean, she has her bad moments every now and then, but overall, she's just really... She's polite. She's very well-mannered. I feel like I've done my best to be her mom in that role, and we've tried to give her proper discipline and teach her proper manners and how to be polite to people in general, because if she had been my own child, I would have done the exact same thing with her. So I feel like she deserves nothing less than what I would have done with my own children, especially because she's a part of our family now. She is our child. It's so hard to grasp. So it just recently happened, like maybe I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, where it just became permanent. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, if you guys have any specific questions like about her in general, I'll try and answer as much as I can if you want to leave them in the comments down below. As far as being a foster parent, once we were put in this situation, we actually did have to go through the certification. Because I'm already in nursing school, I didn't have to go through like the first aid test, any of the like fingerprinting, background checks, things like that, because I already was in the system from nursing. But Andres had to go through all that stuff. We had to have a home inspection, with her room and where she sleeps and where she bathes, and our fire extinguisher, and everything's locked up. We had to do all that. We had to go to parenting classes. That's part of being a foster parent. It was actually pretty strenuous. I mean, we were actually never considered foster parents. I use that term because that's what most people would know it by, but we're actually considered under the kinship program, which means you're taking in someone you had a relationship with or a family member. So you do not get paid to take them in. You don't get any assistance. You don't get anything. The only assistance that we get for her is she does qualify for free preschool and daycare. That's it. Everything else is completely out of our pockets. We don't get any assistance because it's based on our income, because she's our child now. So since it's based on our income, we don't qualify for anything. And so you really have to, when you're a foster parent, I'm not sure if you actually get paid and how much you get paid and things like that, but I do know that you qualify for a little bit more, government assistance, whether you qualify for WIC or food stamps or any type of like daycare assistance and things like that. I think you do qualify for things like that, but once it is a strenuous process, let me tell you, it was very difficult trying to get through school, working full time, and at the time I was working at H&R Block and trying to, keep up with these fostering classes. It was difficult, but it was well worth it because I wouldn't change having her for the world. She's become a part of us, part of our routine, and I would never want to go back. So it's a sad situation. I definitely think if you or your family or your parents or you and your husband or whoever, if you are willing and able and have the space to take in foster children, I definitely think it is a good thing to do. We had a relationship with Emmy before, so it wasn't like just a completely new child coming into our house, but we are now foster parent certified. So if we wish to, we could actually take on more foster children. And they let you take as many as you want as long as you have the room for them. And they do give you parameters, like I think I remember them saying there can be 2 or 3 children per room. It may be just 2 children per room. And then you have to have so many bathrooms per child, or per group of children that you have. There's a lot of rules and regulations. You constantly have visits with CPS or your caseworker. It's something that you really have to be dedicated to do overall. And I can't even say that they could pay you enough to have to deal with the heartbreak of children coming in and out of your home, because let me tell you from personal experience, they grow on you, and it's hard to even fathom them not being in your home anymore after a while. So that's why I think until we have our own family, I think we're done. I don't think we're going to take any more children in, but it's nice to know that all we have to do is just recertify every year, get our inspection done again, be first CPR and first aid certified and all that good stuff, and that our home is available and open to unwanted children in the future. I think that's awesome. I don't know. It makes me feel special. So if you guys have any other specific questions, like I said, just leave them in the comments down below. I know a lot of you were super curious about this stuff. I'm sorry that I can only share a certain amount of information with you. I wish I could share the entire story, but you pretty much got the gist of it. Like I said, maybe I'll try and look up some information and list it down below if you're interested in getting into foster care, like information in your area, maybe a contact number to get a hold of somebody who can help you in the right direction, because again, I think it's a great thing to do for other people who are in need. Let me tell you, my boss and my stepdad were both in the fostering system growing up and group homes and whatnot, and they had a horrible experience. Horrible. Their group homes their foster parents wouldn't feed them. They would, make them sleep in nasty clothes. They wouldn't let them take a shower because they, didn't want to run up their water bill. They would never get like Christmas toys. They would never get to celebrate their birthday. They'd be lucky if they would even get like a meal a day, let alone 3 square meals a day and a snack, and to watch TV. They had chores all the time. Like, they were molested. They had horrible, horrible experiences, and I would never want to see a child in that experience. Never. If your parents can't take care of you, to be a foster parent, you need to be willing to give that child the health care that they need, the food, the supplements, anything that they need. You're supposed to be there to give it to them. So it does make me happy to know that in our future, we, if we wish to, could offer that to a child and know that they're going to have everything that they needed within our home without having to worry about being in a fostering environment that the foster parents are horrible to them. So yeah, it is a really rewarding experience. I have to tell you guys that now. If you've ever considered it, I highly, highly recommend it. I think it's one of those things that you can't go back after doing something like this. You want more. You crave the feeling to have people excited to want to be with you and to be sad to leave you. And so I don't know, yeah, if you guys have ever considered it, I would recommend it. Like I said, I'll try and find some information to put down below for you guys. Again, any specific questions, I'm always available. I always try and respond to your questions as best I can. And yeah, I hope that this video helped you guys and it answered a lot of your questions. And so yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!